Okay, so this is not the first time I've gone over a Rev video. If you remember the last one I went over, we disagreed very much so. And this time, they are talking about Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign that never happened. Oh, quote unquote, that never happened. Oh, I'm willing to bet he's framing this as a, it actually did happen, but the left is lying about it. And, we're the victims here. We're just trying to play our games, have our fun, but the Twitter lefties won't let us kind of bullshit. I'm sorry, Twitter freaks. That's what they prefer to call the people on Twitter that they disagree with. They want to otherize, dehumanize. That's what they do. That's what... I'm not going to start the video with that comparison, but like I'm already getting some sort of particles off of this video, just the title. Hey Rev. Oh, I was directed to this video by a person from my comments, and I am glad they let me know that this came out. Let's see what Rev has to say about... You remember this video? Oh, you've seen it? First time I've seen it. I have not watched it yet. Let's see what he says.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So this might be the most ambitious video I have ever made. Over the past month, the release of the Hogwarts Legacy game has produced some of the most toxic internet drama we have ever seen. Some people think that reporters who go into active war zones are brave, but that's nothing compared to what I've done. Going into the most dangerous war zone known to mankind, Twitter.com, to cover all of the drama and outrage that has stemmed from this funny wizard game.
I don't like
I've
that
literally
art.
spent hours upon hours talking about
The art
Hogwarts
is
Legacy
very
related
useful.
drama. It is quite easily the most talked about subject in this channel's history, and that's for a good reason, because the harassment campaigns that have stemmed from this game will be studied by future generations, trying to comprehend the sheer lunacy it caused. Over the past month, we have seen countless...
What are you in for? Who posted that meme?
content creators harassed, doxxed, and threatened
so
over their
painful.
intent to
That's
simply
so
stream
rude.
a video game. And despite the mountain of documented evidence, this harassment campaign has been outright denied or portrayed as some kind of a psyop to blame certain populations. Since I spend a great deal of time reacting to these developments as they're happening, I think we need to take a little peek at the forest from the trees. I think it's critical to spend this video documenting the full timeline of events, my finale to the Hogwarts Legacy related drama that'll prove without a shadow of a doubt that this was one of the most shameless and misguided harassment campaigns that social media has ever experienced. But before we get into that...
Okay, so I am open to the idea that there was harassment that happened to it. I am curious to what you actually have to say and how well you will validate your criticisms of the online people that, from what I've heard, asked you not to play a game.
Let's hear a word from today's sponsor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Giga Chads over at HelloFresh have returned to sponsor this video. Once you Welcome back, guys. So, like any good teacher, I decided to give you guys a little PowerPoint presentation. That's how we're going to go through all of the events.
Okay, so this is such a horrible thing that they said. Like, I don't think the boycott was a smart idea at all to attempt, but, like, it happened, and we gotta kind of deal with it. I was against the boycott from the start, and I am trans. Just saying.
So basically, I went through all of my videos from the past month or so and grabbed all the important images we need, which contains hundreds of screenshots and tweets and alike that will mostly chronologically go through the events surrounding the harassment campaign stemming from the Hogwarts Legacy game. So, for something people didn't know, right, is that this harassment campaign began way before the actual game's release. Now, people were upset about this game because...
So, yeah, you are considering this tweet here part of the harassment campaign, which, not a surprise, but this... I guess you wouldn't consider this harassment, but let's see what else you have to say.
Because they believe that its name was attached to its IP owner, which is J.K. Rowling, who many have considered to be a transphobe based on some comments she has made about trans women.
Some comments? It's like her whole fucking platform.
So back in August of last year, you have this tweet stating, "Friendly reminder, don't buy this game. The people who worked on it have already been paid. This doesn't need your support. Trans people are more important than a wizard school you can't let go of. Don't stab us in the back. Thanks."
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that was pretty stupid to try and tie trans people's acceptance to the success of a game. That was, like, really, really dumb of them to even attempt. We've always made fun of the right when they try and do boycotts. Why would it work for us?
So I think this is pretty representative of a lot of the things we're going to see in the last month or so. The initial complaint, right, pointing out that it is attached to a person who has what many consider transphobic views. And a lot of people feel uncomfortable purchasing it and would encourage others to not purchase it. That concern is valid. It was always valid, right? No one's saying that that's not a genuine thing you can have discomfort towards. But making the us versus them narrative, the don't stab us in the back remark, is something that is much more indicative of what we're gonna see.
Fuck me, I actually kind of agree with Rev here. The don't stab us in the back, thanks, is so passive aggressive. It's so... I hate that mindset so much. It's frustrating.
And of course, there's also misinformation about how the devs were already paid, they don't need your support. Well, yeah, they might have been already paid, but the thing is, it's a resume builder. The success of this game reflects upon them. And if it does poorly, it's not a good look and it might hurt some of their financial opportunities and job opportunities in the future.
Well, the thing is, it would actually be if the game bombs, then the company could go under and then all those people would be out of a job, not necessarily that their resumes wouldn't look as good. Have you ever written up a resume, Rev? I would be very interested to just know if you've ever worked a day job.
But the threat started as well. This one was back in...
Wait, so this is a threat? Just not playing the game isn't enough. I will actively be standing outside a GameStop. Throwing rocks. Oh, okay, yeah, that's not cool.
January of this year, this user saying, "Just not playing the game isn't enough. I will actively be standing outside of GameStop at midnight, release of Hogwarts Legacy, throwing rocks at people. Stop talking about it and be about it." Now, normally I would say...
Yeah, that's an actual threat because you're threatening violence by throwing rocks at people. That's not how you protest something. That is pretty dumb.
say maybe this person is just exaggerating and is trolling.
I would say they were being hyperbolic.
This violent rhetoric towards people purchasing and streaming this game is very real. There are plenty of death threats and threats to hurt people over that whole...
What death threats? Show the death threats. Because right now, there is people... You're showing this tweet as your threat of rocks, when I've seen so many goddamn noose memes, so many burning memes about trans people over Pick-a-Me. Are these at all comparable to you, Rev? Seriously. Rocks, throwing rocks to lynching.
Whole situation. So like this isn't far off, and it has enough support that leads you to believe some people took it seriously. But in the coming days before the official release of Hogwarts Legacy, you have people like this. The hysteria was already building up, and people were making public statements regarding their feelings on this game. And this person, by the way, is a Twitch ambassador.
Oh my god, it led to so much fucking virtue signaling. It was frustrating to see.
Stating that they will be boycotting this game and boycotting Twitch for supporting it through their platform. Now, it's funny going back and re-looking at some of these screenshots. You notice things you never did before. Like, besides the fact they're on Twitter, they also have the blue check mark, which means they pay for Twitter. They are a Twitter Blue subscriber, meaning they're paying Elon Musk to be here and to tweet. Which, of course, paying Elon Musk goes to Tesla. Tesla uses child labor in Africa. Are you supporting child labor in Africa by using your Twitter Blue subscription? It's the same line of logic people use to call others transphobes over purchasing or streaming Hogwarts Legacy. And that sort of unethical consumption could be applied to virtually anything, even the phones that these people are tweeting from.
Yeah, Rev actually has a point here. If you go down the ethical consumption route, nothing these days is ethical. But, like, this is two different things. It's like... They're... Yeah, honestly, more or less. The outcome seems to be the same.
But along with that also came the initial waves of harassment and accusations. You have people saying buying the Wizard game does in fact automatically make you a transphobe. You're a bad person if you buy this game. You're voting with your wallet. You're saying bigotry is good. And encouraging people to unfollow anyone who plays or streams this game.
I mean, they do have a bit of a point when J.K. Rowling has explicitly said that every dollar made from Harry Potter now is going towards anti-trans stuff. So it is kind of directly doing that in a sense. Not every person is as on Twitter as the both of us. And not every person is fully aware of JK being a transphobe. Unfortunately, a lot of people just fucking don't realize how many people don't engage with this stuff when they really, really should. And goddammit, I gotta be right back.
Genuinely bad person if you're involved in any sort of way. And these tweets were all from the days leading up to the release.
Actually, and let me look at those tweets. What do they actually say? Buying the Wizard game does in fact automatically make you a transphobe. I disagree with that sentiment, but I do understand where they're coming from. Yes, you're a bad human being if you buy a video game sending money directly to a woman who has gleefully stated publicly here on Twitter that any time you spend money on her, she uses to hurt people. You're voting with your wallet, and you are saying bigotry is good. In terms of the people that are actually online and aware, yeah, I guess. But again, not everybody is aware. Some of those are getting too small for me to read. Buying the Wizard game, just unfollow, block me because I don't feel comfortable around you. I really don't have the patience to argue or debate. The game is in support of anti-Semitic and transphobic ideologies. Yeah, that's not harassment at all. That's not a threat. That's just somebody being uncomfortable around those that wants to actively play that game. Because let's be real, there was, from what I've seen, quite a few Jewish references in that game. And like, the entire game is about putting down a slave revolt. Because, you know, slavery is good in Harry Potter. Why do people fucking defend the game?
Any sort of way. And these tweets were all from the days leading up to the release. And probably the biggest moment was this right here on February 6th, on the dawn before the release. This person made a now deleted website that allowed users to type in the name of a streamer to see if they've streamed that Wizard game.
That, I'm gonna be honest, is pretty funny. People being so upset over it that they go to make that website, that's kind of funny. But, like, seriously, you don't need to get on this purity campaign of, have they ever played Hogwarts Legacy? Like, seriously. You know you can disagree with people on media takes, but then still agree with people on policy takes. Like, I don't want dogmatic followers. I want followers that think for themselves, and if they happen to agree with me, cool.
Of course, meaning Hogwarts Legacy. Now,
wait, that Wizard game meant Hogwarts Legacy?
Maybe there's some fair use, right? If this game really does make you uncomfortable and you don't want to see your favorite streamer playing this game, you can check here, but you could check also through Twitch just as easily. But this quickly became
not as easily. Like, some people don't have their VODs public, and not everybody uses a schedule and announces every single game they play on stream, like I fucking don't.
A tool for harassment, and that's to nobody's surprise. There's no shocked Pikachu faces here when people who are already calling others transphobes over supporting this game are now using this tool to find streamers who are participating in it and form hate raids to attack and jump down their throat and leave hateful replies during their streams.
Source? 'Cause, like, that's a pretty big claim. Does anybody ever know of any left-leaning or progressive person that has led a hate raid? Like, I'm gonna be honest, some people have been shitters on Twitter, because that's what you do. That's what that platform is for, shit posting. But seriously, I have not actually seen substantiation for this harassment campaign. I don't think it was I do think it was very over the top that this webpage was made for some people to go harass people, which I think is terrible. That was really all that was mentioned about it on Twitter, but I never saw much proof of it myself. Exactly, like, I haven't seen anybody really trying to organize any harassment campaigns. I've seen people bitch and moan on Twitter about seeing people play that game, but I still haven't seen any direct harassment to any individuals over that game. What's the harassment? What you got? And I know you're not going to actually go through all of this, so let's see what these actually fucking say. I can't really read that one. I should get glasses. I'm trans myself. Can we stop virtue signaling? No one cares. Pick me, they will never pick you. That's... Stop pick me behavior. Pick me behavior is saying that everybody else is invalid except for when you do it. Being against virtue signaling over being pro boycott that's going to fail anyways is an intelligent stance. It's a trans girl that loves Harry Potter and strongly dislikes J.K. Rowling. Why can't I just enjoy Hogwarts Legacy in peace? Can we separate J.K. Rowling's hateful ideas from a game that a studio and many talented devs put work into? I can separate that. They went pretty anti-Semitic in the game. So you're a dude. Yeah, this fucking person is clearly a leftist that is pro the Hogwarts Legacy boycott. This definitely seems like something a progressive person would say. And since I know your IQ is lower than the age of your preferred partners, I will say that was sarcasm. This is clearly a transphobe, a reactionary, not somebody that cares about trans rights. As a trans woman, I believe everyone should be free to enjoy Hogwarts Legacy. I pre-ordered it and plan on enjoying it myself. Everyone has been waiting for the game like this, and we need to separate JK from the game developers who have worked endlessly on bring us this masterpiece. Huge pick-me behavior. I don't think that tweet is pick-me behavior at all. It's somebody that's... Well, I mean, they are playing the id poll, but, like, the entire fucking discourse started over id poll of be supportive of trans rights, essentially. But no, this is not saying other trans women are invalid. That is not pick-me behavior. At least in my mind. I honestly just care that there's equality for everyone and people can be the person and gender they wish to be without having to face people who are so dead set on making other people's lives worse. I fully agree with that. Everybody should be able to live in happiness and healthiness, do whatever the fuck they want, as long as it doesn't cause direct harm to other people or themselves.
And one thing I wanted to point out, this again, before the release even happened, this is something that like nobody talks about. Here's a screenshot containing many different interactions where trans people are voicing their disagreement with some other people claiming supporting this game makes you a transphobe. They're saying that, can't we separate J.K. Rowling's hateful ideals from a studio that simply purchased her IP and had no involvement with her in the process of developing this game? And of course, the responses to these trans people disagreeing, of course, was met with accusations that they're pick-me's, that, you know, they're invalidating their gender. And some of this came even from other trans content creators, it's really sad to see, and this was very underreported in all this stuff. But
so show more. Show more. You still haven't really substantiated what you've been saying. Literally, the screen before that last one, you were going on a different point, and now you're going somewhere else. Twitch chat bullies streamer for playing Hogwarts Legacy to the point of making his girlfriend cry? Really? Hey, Orphan, you don't like this Rev guy? Yeah, me either. Who would have guessed?
This was really the first documented form of harassment. This was Girlfriend Reviews. This is a channel that's, much like the name suggests, the boyfriend plays the game, the girlfriend reviews the gameplay. And they got promoted.
That's kind of a cute setup. Boyfriend plays, girlfriend reacts, reviews. Interesting. But yes, go on.
To play Hogwarts Legacy on stream, where they were massively attacked and harassed to the point where the girlfriend was crying on stream. It was a very upsetting moment, clearly, for them. And the ultimate irony of
play the clip.
This situation, by the way, is that during this stream, they were organizing a charity and giving their revenue away to the Trevor Project, which supports LGBT youth. They were being called transphobes while running a stream that was a charity that included trans kids. That gives you an idea. Like, there was a lot of people who planned on streaming this game and using charities like that to kind of counteract the hate. Like, if you want to raise your complaints about J.K. Rowling, sure. But we're going to play this game that is separate from her other than her IP. And we're going to do some good for trans people and trans kids. And people just saw stuff like this and said, no way. It's not worth it.
Yeah, there were definitely woke scolds that were like at the point of it doesn't matter why you're playing it, you're a bad person, but I don't consider that kind of mindset harassment. It would have to be above and beyond. And so far, you still haven't substantiated. We're like a third of the way into the video.
I'm going to get bullied. I'm going to get harassed. I'm going to get labeled a transphobe if I stream this game. No matter how much charitable good I do attached with it, it'll not be enough in people's eyes. And when...
Okay. So you're not playing the clip. A person went private over disagreeing with another person. They should have been meaner. Play the fucking clip. I'll play the clip. Dextero on Twitter. I'm switching over to my VTuber screen because, like, it's a minefield if I open up Twitter for, that was back on February 6th. Yeah, my Twitter's a minefield for, dirty stuff. Oh my god, this Dextero tweets so much. Okay. Let me search the profile. Why can't I do that on PC? Did I spell that right? Oh no, I spelled that wrong. Dexerto chat bullies Dreamer Hogwarts Legacy. And since I'm such a internet cyber sleuth, I've got the clip. 22 seconds, or no, 28 seconds, and Rev didn't want to show it. Oh yeah. But my VODs don't get saved on Twitch, they get saved on YouTube.
I'm almost like thinking of just like either going offline or like I'm barely into the second combat here, and every time I look at chat, it's just the conversation is just like
maybe we can do like
bothering me.
Be right back. Like
Wait, where's the chat?
You can take a break if you want. I'll just stop talking and I'll just go fight and do the combat. Y'all done did it now. Flip up and now it's like whatever. I'm almost like thinking of just like either going offline or like I'm barely into the second combat here.
Yeah,
every
this.
time I look at chat, it's just the conversation is just like
maybe we can do like
bothering me.
Be right back.
Wait, that was it? On launch day, oh my god, this is why I hate news sites. So many ads. Poor center. Show me the goddamn chat. The clip was then posted to Reddit. Yeah, that was the clip we just watched. Was it not?
Or like I'm barely into the second combat here.
Yeah, that we just watched that. It's complaining about rude chat, but we're not seeing any chat. Shocker! They're not substantiating. Yeah, the clip is really quiet, but I was able to hear pretty distinctly that they were complaining about people being rude in chat, but I'm still not seeing any proof of what was actually happening or goings on with that chat. I don't care about looking good in front of people that already want me dead. Yeah, that's totally harassment. I've chosen violence. If you play or watch the TERF's anti-Semitic neo-Nazi simulator extravaganza, even pirated, you're a scum. You deserve to be run over from toe to head by a steamroller going 1 foot a minute. End of discussion. That was pretty aggressive. That was not directed at any specific person. It's just them being upset over the game. That chat's making them feel uncomfortable, can really mean many things too. Yeah, like, it could just be a couple people going, hey, do you support trans rights? And they don't want to answer that question. Or it could be, you're a piece of garbage for playing that game. We don't know. We're not shown what actually happened. We just heard, 30 seconds of them complaining about chat. But we can't see the chat. You guys aren't showing me anything. No, you do deserve your death threats, you do deserve your suffering, you do deserve your abuse for playing this game. Congratulations, you survived a fraction of percent of what trans folks go through on a daily basis. You want a gold star? Some shit like that? Okay, this Muppet person is pretty hurt. I would not say that anybody deserves death threats. They don't deserve suffering. They don't deserve abuse for playing a game. even without that game, there's always going to be something that's going on in chat that have the possibility of being uncomfortable for someone too. Oh yeah, 100%. You can't control how your chat feels about the other chatters in chat, and you can't control how you're going to feel about chatters in chat. You can only react and respond. And of course not, they don't deserve getting those kinds of threats. Yeah, nobody does. Even a super turf, anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi, whatever, I don't think they deserve death threats. I think they should be made fun of for believing that stuff, but that is a criticism on their ideology, not on any fucking immutable characteristics or just like playing a game. I criticize people for what I think they truly believe. And also, wait, I just realized this top one has 2 likes. The second one has 7 likes. You're going to say this is a harassment campaign because of 9 likes from one angry trans person? This one over here, I'm going to say is a lot of, because, you know, it was responding to Dexerto, and, you know, Dexerto is pretty damn big, so a lot of engagement's going to be happening.
When this happened, much like all of the other content creators we're going to look at,
louder out of
the
nowhere?
bullying and harassment of girlfriend reviews was mocked. It was mocked by artists like this, and we also started seeing an uptick in people saying, well, violence is okay. Like this VTuber right here. I have chosen violence, and if you play this game, you deserve death threats. You deserve death threats. You deserve your abuse for playing this game. And making some weird comparison that if trans people are suffering every day, you should suffer just as much, if not more, for playing this game.
Yeah, 7 likes, 1 retweet. That is totally indicative of a broader push. Hogwarts Legacy has broken the all-time record for single-player game with over 1.2 concurrent viewers on Twitch. Yeah, no shit, because it was made trending for months before it came out, with people calling to boycott it. And people ignoring the boycott messaging, just seeing, hey, the Wizard game is trending. I guess people are really interested in it. So that backfired, and it sucks.
Well, launch day happens, and it is now a piece of Twitch history. The first day of Hogwarts Legacy being streamed on Twitch has set the still standing record for the highest concurrent viewer mark for a first day at 1.2 million viewers, absolutely knocking all of the other previous records out of the water. So, yes, the boycott failed entirely. All of the warnings, threats, all of it failed. The game was massively successful, and there's a reason for it. Like, I get it. Hogwarts Legacy, an iconic IP, it would have succeeded, right? The game would have done well in sales if there was no controversy. But the boycott and the harassment and the initial harassment against those who were testing out the game spiked so much interest. This was the greatest free advertising campaign of all time. The boycott absolutely failed.
God, there was no harassment pre-game. Substantiate your fucking claims.
And at this point, the game is creeping up on $1 billion in sales. $1 billion in sales. There is
no fucking shit. Harry Potter is a $1 billion franchise, and a game that came out under its IP did well despite what Twitter said, because holy shit, Twitter is like everybody, isn't it? No, if you actually think about it, Twitter is one of the smaller social media platforms. It's just where a lot of different communities get together. It's one of the very few places where you can interact with a whore online like me, or a politician directly, or a company directly, or this asshole.
No way they would have reached that without the controversy and the boycott. But we go on here, and we have to...
I think it would have done well either way, but I do think the boycott did boost its... Oh, great. We're talking about Pick-a-Me next. Are you going to be framing Pick-a-Me leaving because of Hogwarts Legacy? Are you going to be that stupid? I really, for your sake, hope you're not.
To note this, like I said, this is mostly in chronological order, but I want to circle back to Pick-a-Me a little later in the video. She was caught up in the initial wave on the 6th, the day before the launch. She expressed the fact that she wanted to stream Hogwarts Legacy the next day. Well, of course, she was met with harassment and canceled the stream, and then followed with a long hiatus on social media, where we all know where that ends with her graduation. But going forward, the first...
I guess you're going to be circling back to that, but... Oh, great. We're going to be getting into the Twitter freaks rhetoric, and I've got my own thoughts on that.
Initial star here was Silvervale, of course. She was trending on Twitter for like 2 or 3 weeks straight. And what's interesting about her is she actually streamed for a while. She had 2 different Hogwarts Legacy streams where there was almost no blowback. You can see the actual dates on this screenshot. This was from my first...
Oh, what? Like, people didn't actually harass people at first? Like, I would think that if there was this harassment campaign, it would have gone after, like, somebody with 400,000 followers on Twitch. They would have had that blowback. What are you chewing on? Bad kitty. They would have had that blowback the first stream they did if it was an actual organized harassment campaign. But, again, will you fucking substantiate anything you say?
Video talking about the harassment she faced 10 days ago, 8 days ago. It took almost 2 weeks for people to start even caring that she played Hogwarts Legacy. And it was pretty surprising to...
It's almost like people didn't actually think it was worthwhile to harass people over a game. There are people that had very hard stances on it, but the people that even I've interacted with and I've disagreed with and talked with, they didn't go out of their way to go into people's chats and talk shit about a game. If they didn't want to see a streamer playing that game, they didn't tune into that stream. It's called being a fucking adult, which I know you know nothing about, Rev.
See a V Shoujo member do this. It was a bold thing, and I was like, wow, I can't believe she's getting away with it. Well, no. She ended up getting canceled, and it was a circus, to say the least. I feel like there's going to be some people watching this video who had no idea about the Hogwarts Legacy drama. Maybe they got into this community and online stuff a little bit later in the game, and they're...
Yeah, there's always new people. It's good to substantiate what you say.
Looking at a video like this in the future, and they're just like, what? Like, I can't stress to you the amount of controversy this caused. It is, like I said, it's going to be studied in the future of how crazy Twitter went over everything. But this is where things really changed for Silvervale. This was on February 16th, about a week and a half since her Hogwarts Legacy streams. These VTubers falsely claiming, of course, that she, Silvervale, was banning the word trans in her Twitch chat. And I say falsely because this is something that is easily disproven. Of course, they're claiming that because she's banning trans, she's not an ally, and she's a transphobe, and she's trying to silence trans people. This was something...
If I remember correctly, but it was like an auto mod jumping in and getting in stuff, because like I believe I had heard other people trying it out in other chats, even offline chats, and getting the auto mod message, because there might have been, yeah, it was Twitch's auto mod that did that. Okay, so what I'm guessing was the harassment that was happening was people saying trans rights in Hogwarts Legacy chats. And the automod system noticed that across all those different chats and logged it as spam because it's a fucking bot. There was drama with Niji-sanji on March 10th. Which drama? Because I did go over stuff about Kyo and false ID. What was I saying about Rev? Right, substantiate what you're saying. I really would like to see actual harassment. And oh yeah, it was the Twitch auto mod.
Something she quickly addressed on Discord. She left these messages and they went on Twitter and they were being shared around, and it really didn't make a difference. But basically, in this set of messages, she explains how Twitch's auto mod feature works. Now, if you're a streamer with even a few dozen viewers in your chat, you need to have some sort of an auto mod setting on Twitch. And she was using what is considered level 2 auto mod, which basically what it does is it doesn't ban certain words. It holds sensitive words for review from the streamer or the mods who need to approve it or decline it. What happens is terms like gay, trans, and other words that could be used in a hateful way are held for review because Twitch is not taking the chance.
Wait. Those are identifiers of people. They used to be gay used to be used in a hateful way. Trans isn't. I really would like to see why you think that trans is a hateful word, but I mean, you don't really substantiate your shit. Wait, somebody got removed from Niji-sanji? Huh. Just like autism does too, and I hate it. They auto-mod autism? Wow, that's stupid.
And ironically, this is a great tool for stopping hate raids on trans people. It is actually, there is no doubt, by the way, don't let...
Okay, I fully disagree with this, because no hate raiders use the word trans. They call us troons. They call us slurs. They don't say trans. The main time anybody really says trans is when they're talking about somebody being trans, themselves being trans, or trans rights. Oh yeah, there are definitely people that use autism in a hateful way, like saying something is autistic, and that's not cool.
Let this be lost. There are hate raids on trans streamers. That is a very real thing. And automod features like this help slow down the hate as it's coming in, all of the hateful messages, because if you're going to be saying something disparaging about a trans person, it's probably going to have the word trans in it, right? So it's at least...
It actually doesn't. It typically has the word man or men in it. It doesn't have trans in it. This is, from what I believe, people trying to say trans rights, and then that being getting flagged as spam by the automod. I guess that could also depend if it's male to female or female to male. Well, here's the thing, a lot of transphobes don't care. They just, when they think of trans people, they think of trans women and default to calling them men. So honestly, a lot of transphobes actually correctly gender trans men, because they don't look into it at all. They just jump onto calling people men. I'm surprised the VTuber fan community, they want all the Nijisanji EN VTubers gone. Really? I don't even really know any of the Nijisanji VTubers, because like I don't follow agencies a whole lot, but like the talent themselves, the VTubers, I don't have any personal problems with them. They keep doing their shit. I do have a problem with the management of Nijisanji, which I did go over in a previous video.
At least holding these for review and hiding them temporarily to be approved by mod. And think about a regular stream. How many times is a word trans gonna come up in a regular stream? Not very often.
Maybe in your streams, but in my streams, it's usually at least a few times a stream somebody mentions the word trans, because a lot of the time I'm talking about like trans issues and stuff relating to being transgender, because that's what I know the most about. I also don't use the auto mod very well. In a lot of people's streams of the streamer being trans, it gets brought up quite a bit. Yeah, 100%. That sentence that he just said proves that he doesn't engage with trans content. He just doesn't think about it. He doesn't care. I'm not making a moral judgment of his character because of that. I'm just saying it's clear with his rhetoric that he doesn't engage with a lot of trans content. That's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's what is.
And when it does, the moderator just has to approve it. So there was a lot of people falsely claiming that she banned the word trans to silence any criticism and silence trans voices, which was not the case. And
yeah, that was a little jumping the shark. Oh, look at that. I know them. I'm Moots. Fuck out of here with these who feel sorry for me shit. Explain why you blocked people who were your fans, Silver. Literally asking you why the word trans was banned from your chat. I don't see any explanations here. Do better, Silver. Okay, yeah, with that one, that was jumping to conclusions. I can't even read that one. But like this statement is not harassment. It's a criticism of a misunderstanding. So I wouldn't be surprised if Miko here did retract that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't care if they didn't retract that. My last 2 cents on the whole Silverveil thing. She alienated her trans and Jewish viewers by playing the game, and in doing so, brought in, enabled her far-right viewers. If there's any time to have the whole spread love, not hate thing, she too so much. It's now. I mean, as long as they're making I think that's something I don't understand. Why bring the Jews into it? Oh, because it didn't get talked about like a whole lot in the discourse, but there was a whole lot of iconography of Jewish historical artifacts and symbolism and all that stuff included in Hogwarts Legacy, like a horn that was literally used to help rally Jews to, or the Hebrew people, to break their chains and rise up out of their slavery. That was turned into a goblin artifact in the game, word for word replacing Jew with goblin. And you play the role of the people putting down that rebellion, basically enforcing slavery over the goblins, which are heavily coded to be Jewish. Unfortunately, the developer of the game is pretty far right. They do a lot of Jewish posting, and it's, yeah. But yes, that is why people are bringing up Jews into this, because honestly, the game is pretty anti-Semitic from what I've seen.
That did not stop all of these people, hundreds of users, but I use this screenshot in particular because it is all VTubers. These are all VTubers calling her a transphobe and canceling her over this misinformation.
Wait. This one didn't call her a transphobe. This didn't call her a transphobe. This didn't call her a transphobe. Yeah, that's not directly calling her, it's just saying she supported the turf game, but I still think that's a stupid idea. Why do you gotta make your fucking collages so small? It's so hard to point out why you're wrong.
Information. And, you know, it sucks. Obviously, being attacked by anyone doesn't feel good, but it especially doesn't feel good when you're getting attacked by your peers. That can't feel good. Seeing all of these VTubers cancel you so easily and so quickly with so little thought, it has to hurt. And I think there's some kind of beautiful irony in the fact that a lot of these people are V-tweeters, meaning they don't actually make content, they just tweet all the time.
Probably small on purpose so people can't be bothered to read them. Would just take Rev's word for it. Oh yeah, probably. Given the vibe I've gotten off of Rev's content, he doesn't really substantiate stuff a whole lot. He just kind of throws things up really quick, gets the headlines in your head, makes his point, and then moves on, and doesn't really give, you know, a whole lot of detail. We're halfway through this video, and I'm not seeing death threats. I'm seeing people calling or saying you're a bad person if you play the game, but that is a far cry from actual harassment. Will you show the Twitch chat of Silvervale for this harassment? I do think you're probably going to talk about the Twitter freaks comment. I imagine so.
It is kind of fitting that they wouldn't understand how Twitch's auto mod feature works because they don't stream, so they're not familiar with it. If they streamed, they would be, but that's the beautiful irony.
That's actually not true. A lot of people were not aware of how that auto mod actually works, and even you, I would say, didn't fully realize how it worked. You didn't actually explain shit. You just said that it was the auto mod. You didn't substantiate. You never substantiate. Please substantiate your shit. Also, V-tweeters, doesn't matter if they're actually streamers or not. There is more than just streaming to be a fucking VTuber. There are plenty of people that do it just for the videos. There are plenty of people that do it just for the tweets. And I will argue that tweets are a form of content. But that's for a different time.
Irony of that, as sad as it might be. And in the coming days, Silvervale made...
Yeah, like most people have no idea about the auto mod. They just never think about it because they never engage with it.
This stream, basically addressing her community and talking about everything that is currently happening with her channel, with Twitter, with Twitch, everything, right? And in this stream, it is 42 minutes. I remember watching this as it was live. It was a pretty gut-wrenching watch. It was hard. She was very upset. She was expressing how much harassment she's faced, the fact that she was doxxed, her family was doxxed, her friends were doxxed, they were harassed, sent death threats. Very clearly,
you can censor the doxing and hide her name, her face, her addresses, all that stuff, but you can still show that it got posted without actually reposting the doxing information. But like, if you're going to make a claim of doxing, substantiate. I know you don't know that term, but oh my god, please do more than provide assertions.
Upset. And what made this whole situation even worse for her is that this was kind of her worst nightmare. She genuinely, very clearly loves trans people and doesn't have any hate towards them. And now she's being...
Wait, clearly loves trans people. What has she done that's pro-trans? She's like trans-colored, but I don't know what makes her specifically pro-trans. Even if that was something that happened to Silvervale, I also have high doubts it was done by trans people as it is. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Being called a transphobe, and
it might be bad actors trying to paint trans people in a bad light, but obviously I don't have any proof for that, but I'm not going to make claims that that's what actually happened. It's a possibility, but I don't actually know.
Told she's not an ally and she's a terrible person by hundreds and thousands of trans people who...
Oh, show it then. Hundreds and thousands? You should definitely be able to show people saying that.
Think she is this terrible transphobe when she's not. And I guess unfortunately for her, this...
Edit it down to a shorter version video you can watch here. Oh, I should check that out, I guess.
Clip was shared onto Twitter, basically summing it up. There was multiple versions of this, but they all contain the same clip. And this was used, of course, to attack Silvervale. And in this case, we have users like...
Are you going to show it? Are you going to show the clip? With this content creator cycle of buy a controversial game, chat gets upset, cry on stream, get clicks. Wait, that's a cycle? How many times has this happened? Also, again, show the fucking clips. He's not going to show the clip. He's just going to keep talking about it.
This essentially saying that this was...
I believe I did watch that clip, but don't remember too much about it other than she was really upset, but mostly upset in the way of how sad she was and how shaken the experience had been. But, like, what actual harassment? Is it harassment or is it criticisms? Because so far, what I've seen leans more towards criticism than harassment.
It was all a very calculated effort. That she bought this controversial game on purpose, and her chat got upset, and then she cried on stream to get clicks and attention. So besides the fact we have never...
We are also... I would like to point out that we are also leaving out the fact that it could be VShojo making her play that game because of her contract. But you don't know. We don't know. Her contract is not public, as far as I know. So there could be any number of things that VShojo is pulling behind the screens influence her behavior, but we just don't know. It's a possibility. It's completely possible that V Shoujo is 100% hands off and their talent can do whatever they want. Or it's also possible that the talent has no choice in what they can do. They have to react a certain way. They have to do they have to play specific games. We don't know. We also don't know where the actual harassment is. Fucking show it, Rev.
We're seeing people harassed on this scale for buying a game. That's not true at all. In the chat getting upset, you go to the original Hogwarts Legacy streams, 99% of the comments are very positive. There's almost no hate. The people who were harassing her...
Wait. So you're spinning a narrative of this harassment campaign that actually happened, and now you're saying 90% of chat was positive towards it. So if anything, this is freaking out about at most 10% of the chat being upset that she wants or that she's playing Hogwarts. And that's what gets her to break down and cry. Seriously, wow. I highly doubt she even thought there would be controversies too with the game, since I doubt she's seen any on it on Twitter as it was. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that she doesn't even really engage with Twitter too much. Like, why would you if you're a sane person? I'm not. But yeah, there is 100% the chance that she didn't actually know. There is a chance that she did. We don't know. We can't make any moral judgments on that without that context, without that knowledge. We need that.
On Twitter were not her chat or her fans. It was just random Twitter users and other VTubers. And
source.
This whole mocking the fact that she cried was something that was reflected in other tweets and threads like this.
Okay, something that has bothered me about the Comfy Wolf YouTube apology stream and needs to be said. This isn't to imply any intentions on her part, more of a lack of awareness on the repercussions of her actions. We gotta talk cis woman tears. You may be familiar with the older, more infamous version of this phenomena, white women tears. Basically, intentionally or otherwise, white women have historically used their position to hurt non-white people through appealing to the male patriarchy by playing the victim. That has historically happened, and I will be honest, I am getting a bit of the vibes of cis woman tears, where she's playing victim for clicks, but that might not be her personal choice. It might be the agency making her do that.
Essentially accusing Silvervale of abusing her privilege as a white woman to bait people into feeling sorry for her, but not just feeling sorry for her, but also hurting trans people. It was her intent to hurt trans people with her...
Wait.
Her tears.
That's the opposite of what you just showed. Like, this person is saying this is not to imply any intention on her part. This is not... Oh my god. This is why Rev doesn't show stuff very long, because he doesn't want you to actually read it. He wants you to glance and just listen to what he has to say.
Sorry for her, but not just feeling sorry for her, but also hurting trans people. It was her intent to hurt trans people with her tears. And you have other people again.
That was just a blatant lie. Nobody, every cis streamer on the planet, when you politely ask them to maybe not play Turf's Royalty Simulator, this is the worst oppression they've ever faced in their life. No, that's actually valid.
They were politely asked. Yes, they were politely asked to not play this game when they were doxxed and sent death.
Show the fucking doxing. If you're going to keep playing that narrative, substantiate. Show me your evidence. Show me your math. I don't care. Show me anything if you're going to keep playing this fucking narrative.
Threats and things like that. You even have another Twitch ambassador sharing a rhetoric that would become very popular with...
The majority of hate and doxing that streamers are receiving from the Wizard game is manufactured by right-wingers to damage the reputation of trans people, and it's working flawlessly. PsyOps are at an all-time high right now. Honestly, that's the vibe I'm getting. I'm not seeing progressive rhetoric in the pushback, at least not in any of the quote-unquote harassment. The stuff that I don't consider harassment, which would be actual criticism, has basically been whatever the fuck you've shown me. And any time that I've actually seen a disagreeable tweet, it has been pretty obvious they're not progressive at all. Which makes me think PSYOP.
With the Pika-Me situation, where they are saying, not sure if people...
So are you going to talk about Pika-Me situation? I am curious if you will. Because I would like to address that if you are going to.
People realize this, the majority of hate and doxing that streamers are receiving from the Wizard game is manufactured by right-wingers to damage the reputation of trans people, and it's working flawlessly. PsyOps are at an all-time high right now. This definitely marked the very long cycle of changing up the narrative. So at first there was no harassment. Then there was some harassment, but it was deserved. Then there was harassment that maybe wasn't deserved, but it's actually a psyop, and the people who, it's actually right-wingers who are doing all these things and framing trans people and people claiming that the game is transphobic if you purchase or stream it. You even have people, I remember this, false ID, getting very thinly veiled death threats for literally sharing.
False ID got that sent to them? Transphobes will be assassinated. That is... Joined May 12th. 29 followers, or May 2012. Is that a real account? Been on Twitter for over 10 years and 29 followers? Really?
Some of the news surrounding streamers getting harassed for this game, having literally a no opinion, just sharing the facts, and still getting threats like this. And of course,
before I agree or disagree with about false side being just sharing facts, I would want to watch the video. All I've seen was that one video of False's about Kyo, and I agree with False honestly in that video. But just some don't use Twitter actively. I could also see how that kind of account may not be someone using Twitter for the right reasons. Yeah, I get the vibes that if you're not really active on Twitter over 10... Like, if you're somewhat active on Twitter over 10 years, I would think you'd be at least triple digits. Unless you're infrequently posting because you maybe use that account to fake some shit. Who knows? Apologies if this appears to be feeding the trolls, but this is a first-time experience for me and I just don't have it in me to bottle it up. Many are feeling very hurt and threatened at this time, so mistakes like this will be made. I've reported this message to Twitter. You can't let your emotions dictate how you act, False. You have a platform. You have a responsibility to make rational decisions that aren't going to negatively impact innocent people. Be better. Wait. What? I don't get where this person's coming from.
Of course, despite, having a very...
I would also like to point out that everything Rev here is using to justify the harassment campaign is like less than 10 likes on average. Just saying, if it was an actual harassment campaign of like people organizing, it would be more than double digits. I think they're referring to posting one random message as "I'm being threatened by trans people." Yeah, that definitely could be how they were framing it. I have been told that false ID is a little more apolitical with their news coverage. So I will definitely be looking into them in the future for more to see if I can provide any additional insight or analysis into stuff that's coming up.
Real reaction to receiving a violent threat like this, False ID and other people were told to suck it up, and that they have a platform and a responsibility to act rationally when they receive death threats, and to not show this to negatively impact other people. Basically,
that is not honestly a direct death threat, and I'm gonna be honest, if that message bothers you, I get it, because I don't like it when I get a random message that's just a picture that says "ugly men will be killed," and they don't say anything else. But then the only time I get those DMs is from fucking burner accounts. Transphobes will be assassinated is not a death threat. Jesus, that is overstating a bit. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. This entire video has basically been Rev overstating and not justifying his positions. He's just quickly throwing up tweets, not really giving you the time to process it, and then just moving on after he delivers his narrative.
Take your death threats and deal with it, and don't have emotion. Don't cry. Don't feel uncomfortable. Don't share bad things are happening to you. It's what is the narrative at this point? It's all so confusing, right? But this was the turning point. All of that harassment and ridiculous continued layers of accusing Silvervale of being a transphobe and finding and twisting her words in any way to serve their narrative. I think it just boiled over right here. This will be one of my favorite streams of all time. Some of the clips coming out of this I'll never forget about. They have become internet history. Silvervale comes in to play what else but Hogwarts Legacy. And
was this before or after she made the statement about Twitter freaks? Because before that statement, I was willing to believe that she was not willfully ignorant of what was going on and that things were being exaggerated a little bit. But then with the framing of the people that are harassing you are Twitter freaks when they're just trying to make the effort to push for trans rights, that is pretty bad. It does kind of come across as standing against the queer community or civil rights in general, honestly. Also, if you're not, I read that one. I greatly dislike this lolly VTuber you're showing just based on how they've been talking about it. Holy shit, I know. This has been 20 minutes. I don't even know how long I've been going over this video, but like it's a half-hour video that it's probably turning into an hour or two long just because I've got to stop so often, like, Because it's a lot of bullshit. He sounds like a right-wing talking head, to be honest. I know. He's a lot of what he's been saying has been pretty fucking close to like the right-wing pundits you hear, but this guy's talking about VTubers.
Basically tell all of the Twitter freaks how she truly feels about them, and let's give it another watch. It's definitely worth it.
Oh, he's finally playing a clip. And this one is to denounce trans people as freaks, isn't it?
And to all of the cockroach V-tweeters crawling out from under the floorboards, climbing onto the hate train and making fun of a girl crying after being harassed incessantly for your crumb of clout, fuck you. That's all I had to say. And we're gonna enjoy this fucking game. And I will not be bullied by a bunch of Twitter freaks with nothing better to do with their goddamn lives. Be nice to people. If you want to make changes, go make...
Wow, that was actually really bad. Because what the whole side of pro-boycott was trans people need to be treated as people. And what she just did here was call that entire movement freaks and then say there needs to be more love. Wow. I do not stand Silvervale with just that. Holy
actual
shit.
Changes instead of harassing streamers on the internet. LGBT people are awesome. Twitter people are not awesome.
That sentence I agree with. LGBT people are awesome. Twitter is a shithole. But this entire harassment campaign, quote unquote, has not been specifically about just Twitter drama. People are saying it's going into DMs. It's going into chats. But here's the thing, you're not, so far, Rev has not shown me anything. All the Harry Potter streamers knew exactly what they were doing, and I'm glad everyone showed their whole ass about it. I think it led to a lot more divisiveness and a lot more backlash than we should have gotten, but I do think Harry Potter is a shitty franchise and nobody should play it, but not for any moral judgments, but because I think it's a shitty franchise. It's a media take, not a personal judgment take.
Fuck you. Wizard game!
So much like the last clip of the previous stream, a clip of her Twitter...
That was literally the first clip you've actually shown us. What do you mean, last clip?
Freaks comments would go onto Twitter and cause a massive breakdown. You can see 7 million views on this clip alone. Lots of quote retweets. People were not happy.
There were more people approving that statement than pushing back against it. So why are you framing it as the pro-boycotters were the overwhelming majority? Are you just trying to play the victim? Alright, that's enough VTuber shit in the span of 2 weeks. She needs to kill herself. Holy shit. Who the hell is that person? You do not advocate or call for that. That is not cool.
And there's a whole thread of all these comments. There was hundreds of quote retweets, especially from other VTubers, continuing to harass her and misinterpret her words, in this case, Twitter freaks. And you have people already saying that she...
Wait, misinterpret her words? How how do you interpret Twitter freaks? Because the only way I can think of understanding framing that way and doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it is to be 100% opposed to what they were pushing for, or directly opposed against them specifically, which would be trans people and or some trans people and their allies. It wasn't every trans person trying to boycott the game, but Jesus Christ, this guy
needs to game end herself. You have people like this claiming that the Twitter freaks comment was literally about Jewish and trans people.
Wait, you don't think that when she said Twitter freaks, she didn't mean the people being pro Harry Potter boycott or being pro boycott? What was the point they were trying to push with the boycott? Where do you stand on trans rights? That's what they were trying to accomplish. They tried it in a shitty way, but that's what they were trying to accomplish. Whether you agree with it or not.
And that she...
Hey, Kami, how you doing?
He will get her karma. You have people like this. These freaks are trans people. Once again, not what she said. Twitter freaks was only referring to people harassing others over a video game. If you think those are trans people, that's you projecting. Yeah, so the anti-bullying people saying that no one was bullying her, gaslighting her experience, and then saying that they need to change that by actually bullying her.
Wait, you haven't shown any of the goddamn bullying. Still good for tonight? I thought we had planned that for like an hour ago, but I hadn't heard back from you till like now, so I wasn't sure if we were. Okay, this guy needs to shut the fuck up. I officially assume he's a racist transphobe at this point. Honestly, I've been getting Hitler particles out of him this entire fucking time, and I just don't like drawing the comparison right away. Cause you know that's people's be jumping the guns. Yeah, 9:30 your time. I thought you were 8 hours ahead. Because it is currently 2:30 for me. I guess you're 7 hours ahead. Fuck. A racist lawler VTuber, do those even exist? It's like most of them. Doesn't care about trans Jewish people. I've been calling her out. It's 9:30 your time? Oh, fuck. Then that is on my bad. I don't know how much longer this is going to take me. It's going to be a while.
People were tagging Vishojo, trying to get her fired, of course. And
can we arrange for next week?
That she was
inviting
100%
I'm down.
people to her stream. And you had people like this saying this whole situation was
just to get a stunt to get more people to follow her channel. Fake crying, supposed harassment that didn't happen. I'm next weekend is probably freer for me. The weekend after, I cannot do. I've got a pretty busy weekend that weekend. But if we can do next weekend, I would 100% love to. Fake crying. Right. Rev, show the fucking harassment. I can't do it on the 1st. I've got big plans with helping a friend build a PC. She's been planning it for like, let's do next weekend. If we can, I definitely want to collab with you again. It's been fun too, and it's been too long. Back on topic. Rev, substantiate. Now download 7 days. Fine.
It was just a stunt.
I'll allocate
much
space.
Like the other ones, to get people to follow her channel. The fake crying was definitely worth the like 3 streams she got out of this. She's playing all these people like fools as she gets doxxed. Yeah, let me just explain. There is no level of financial gain or follower gain that would ever be worth getting doxxed or even getting death threats or general harassment.
Where did the doxing happen? Who posted it? To what? When? What exactly was the doxing? Will you goddamn substantiate your shit? Make food, and good night. I shall enjoy the stream as much as I can going over one of this guy's videos. You enjoy your food and have a great night yourself. This is the first thing I've actually heard about doxing. Yeah, like literally. They're claiming doxing, but they're not substantiating. They're not showing what actually happened. They've only been bitching about it.
Harassment, let alone on the level that Silvervale got for streaming this game. And of course, all she had to say was that she was playing her childhood game, and the bullying was actually education. It's like you can see like a scenario where she's like reading this with a gun pointed at her, you know, against her will. Like,
what? A gun pointed at them. Holy fuck.
No, don't say it's bullying. Say you were educated. And
I think what they meant with that one was, I've got childhood nostalgia for this game. I'm going to say it. This is the new digital Yellowface. Okay, that is a shitty opinion. This person is an idiot, doesn't know what they're talking about.
And then this Yellowface, she was accused of Yellowface because of the Sakura Wolf aspect of her VTuber character. And this Yellowface thing is something we literally talked about yesterday. It is a new term that people are using for VTubers, particularly VTubers who use Japanese names or aesthetics, claiming that they're trying to appropriate Japanese women with their VTuber models. It's absolutely insane. Me, when I banned the word trans in my chat, misinformation, supported TERF financially, not.
That first part is actually misinformation. That second part is true.
Not true. Cry on stream because people disagree with me. She was harassed.
Show the harassment.
Call it harassment, she was, so that people pity me and harass trans people didn't happen.
That did happen. She called the trans people that supported the boycott Twitter freaks.
And lie about being doxxed. More misinformation.
If it's misinformation, show it. Show us who doxed her. You want me to believe you, right? I want to take these claims seriously. You haven't given me any reason to.
That was amazing. I kind of forgot about this one. That was about 5 lies and only 3 lines of text.
One lie. That was one lie. Yeah, the whole I was doxxed publicly, but you can't find any evidence of it.
That's impressive. But that wasn't the end, right? We saw a shift. Silvervale and that harassment kind of died down slowly over the coming days, but other VTubers were being called out. In this case, Iron Mouse was also called out for basically saying in this clip that you're looking at down here that harassment over a video game is never okay and that there is more productive ways to voice your concerns about this game and the people attached to its IP. That's it. Of course, this user was...
Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment if that's what Iron Mouse actually said.
Mocked and sadly supported at least a little bit, and then their account was suspended, thankfully. But now we're on the other person that was contained on this list, Pikami.
Well, I mean, Silvervale was... Oh god, you are going into the fucking Pikami lie, aren't you? I'm gonna go step away for a second because I have to bathroom. But, I mean, clout farming is always playing a role. I am going after super big people on YouTube because A, I want clout, B, they have shitty takes. Be right back.
Pikami is a very sad story and sad role in this whole drama. So On February 6th, she announced her intent the following day to stream Hogwarts Legacy. This "I am joining Hogwarts" tweets is one that's going to live in a very sad sense of infamy. And she was actually in a current 1-month hiatus from streaming when she made that announcement. And of course, graduation will be a big theme. Now, why she graduated is something that became clearer over time, but it appears from everything we've seen that she had an intent to graduate around this time, but she didn't want to end her activities so early. The theory that people like me and many other people think is supported by some other evidence is that she was planning on graduating, but the harassment that came from the Hogwarts Legacy situation sped up that graduation process. And it's clear based on some announcements made by VOMS, her management, basically saying that they needed to speed up some of the dates of her graduation related events and that they were kind of scrambling, but also they try to say that it was always planned. It just seems like the continued use over and over again of sudden announcements, sudden things, sudden developments, it made it seem clear that this was not fully planned. That the graduation might have been planned, but not the date and the speed of it. And the harassment, based on everything we're going to see, is very likely.
Really? You're going to actually show harassment? Okay, let's actually see. Kettle wants to play games. Oh yeah, we've seen that tweet. She should have just not played it at all, stupid bitch. That is kind of rude. Really excited for the wave of mealy-mouthed woe is me apologies that this game will inspire in VTubers who know what engaging with it represents and yet go right ahead playing it anyway. Fuck off, transphobe. Tweeted this before. I didn't even know what happened to Pikami. And now after having learned about the situation, I would just like to say, lol, lamau. This is like drawing a trans person killing themselves. You're legitimately a horrible person and you should feel bad for making this. Wait. Oh, that's just it's a Harry Potter picture. That I would disagree with this sentiment. But hey, they got two of the same person and not showing how many likes in these harassments. There's so much missing context. Yeah, 100% of missing context. Like, everything in this is no context. As thinly veiled context as he can possibly get away with to justify his narrative.
So she comes back, makes that announcement, is harassed, cancels the stream very quickly. You can see people calling her a transphobe. This is only a small screenshot of the responses to that initial stream announcement, and you can read them for yourself. It's not very nice. And
like that's a couple of them that looked like they didn't get any engagement to or from Pikami, so how does that actually tie into her speeding up her graduation?
Of course, she made these following announcements saying that she's just a kettle wanting to play games and she doesn't mean anything by playing it. And this was the moment where she would take a roughly 3+ week long hiatus from social media without even liking a single thing or tweeting or uploading or streaming anything. Just
only 3 weeks? I mean, I went like 2 months just because I was dealing with IRL shit and never had any drama online to bother me, or none of the drama online bothered me enough to actually push me at a hiatus. It was literally IRL stuff. After a 1-month hiatus that no one cared about. Well, she did have quite a few fans. She was a very big VTuber.
Complete silence on social media, which led, of course, to the March 1st announcement of her graduation. VOMS Project announcing that she'll be graduating at the end of March on March 31st and will be shutting down all of her related channels, or at least privating them. And this was something that also came with her intent to continue streaming for this final month, and she has been, and they've been very well supported. But that graduation notice sent Twitter into a spiral. It went absolutely crazy, and people were...
Wait. So she's still going on right now, but there are people that are making, like, memes of nooses and trans gamer momentsing themselves, and you're not going to mention that at all? The whole remember what they took from you campaign? I would go into detail about that a lot more, but like all the evidence I can show of that would get me banned because it's explicitly hate memes. It's about trans people killing themselves, and that's not good. So why are you just leaving that context out? Oh, right, because you don't actually care about trans people.
Celebrating this graduation. A lot of people were very angry, but a lot of people were also celebrating. Many people, again...
That kind of just happens when you're a big public figure and you have a big platform. There's always going to be people that like you, always going to be people that dislike you. Doesn't matter.
Saying that she was a transphobe and that she deserved all of this. And that...
Wait. Oh, they didn't hide the name there. She left because of transphobes like you harassing and beating trans people for existing. Get over it. This was caused by people because people couldn't handle a video game. It was absurd. Do you seriously think harassing Pick-Me over a wizard game is right? Reevaluate your morals right now, because that's wild. She left because of transphobes like you harassing and beating trans people for existing. Get over it. Wait, no. That tweet just doesn't make sense. And unsurprisingly, no likes agreeing with them. I talk with Jay on the regular. He's far from a transphobe. Please stop assuming that everyone has the opposite opinion, is transphobe. Yeah, people do like to jump to... That's the third tweet from the same person. Yeah, it is. And this time he clearly didn't care about hiding the username.
All of this. And that...
Oh, this time he did care about hiding a username.
And that she was encouraging people to be nasty and hateful.
Wait. Yeah. This is not disagreeable at all. This is exactly what's going on. This tweet was correct. It has gotten a lot worse because of transphobes blaming trans people or using the Pick-Me graduation as a wedge issue to blame the overall trans community and just throw shit at people.
And that somehow, other Twitter users like this made it about themselves that, oh, she got harassed and is now graduating, but we're the ones in most danger here. And showing no empathy.
Okay, so I know you're an idiot, but there is a very big push from Republicans in America to actively stop people from being trans at all. And when you're pushing back against trans rights, you are siding with them. Is that so hard to figure out? This guy needs to walk off a fucking pier. I don't advocate for any violence towards him, but I very much disagree with every one of his stances. He is fully free to say what he wants, but I am just as free to reply.
Empathy for what Pick-Me was going through. And again, you have this whole concept of cis people being so fragile.
Trans discourse in 2023, actual trans issues. We just want to have the same rights as other people and don't want to be murdered by systems of oppression. What cis people think they are. I can't believe these T-slurs ran off VTuber Lolita69. We need a final solution now. I mean, that's hyperbolic, but that is what's happening. That is a fair comparison of the discourse going on Twitter. You can have a life jacket. I just want him in that nasty slushy water with all the boat waste and diesel fumes. Yeah, no harm caused to him, but I would feel better if he was made slightly uncomfortable. No physical harm, no impeding to his life, but like, it would make me feel happy if there was just permanently a rock in his shoe.
Agile, and again, we're talking about actual issues, but we're talking about a video game. People getting death threats, graduating.
What death threats? Was it that one vague transphobes will be assassinated? Indirect threat at best, you can call it. But like, this is literally the two sides of the argument that people want to say both sides have valid points. One side just wants to live in peace. The other side wants us to die. And it's just a rock. It should be a Lego. I want his front sock to fold, constantly be slipping under his toes. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Where it's like, or not just under the toes, where it like folds in half under the arch of your foot, where it's just like super duper uncomfortable.
Being harassed over a video game. It's ridiculous. Then you have like completely hateful rhetoric.
These people think they will go unpunished. I would like to know what that is referring. The transphobic and ugly VTuber got run off the internet because of us. Soon you will too. Trolls, remember, trans men will never be women. Yeah, that's actually pretty funny, telling trolls that trans men will never be women, because trolls think that trans women are men, and they mistakenly say trans men when trying to refer to trans women. So when they say trans men will never be women, they're affirming the gender. So yeah, trolls, remember, trans men will never be women.
Here, there's really nothing else to say about this kind of stuff. You had people celebrating with artwork.
Yeah, that is so harassy that people are saying congrats on graduating sarcastically with the trans flag. That is so evil. Ooh, that totally justifies the backlash of like people. One of the ones that I saw was art of Pikami pouring gasoline onto a trans flag that was burning. So it's pretty clear where the two sides stand from. The left is being jokey, sarcastic, and the right is the one calling for death and extermination. Again, I would show, but like Twitch TOS. If you do want my why I'm adamantly believing that there is actual death threats against trans people, DM me, I will link you. There is an extensive list that I haven't gone through because it's that long. And like you click on a random thing, it's a death meme. It's a death meme. Graduating is still weird nomenclature that bothers me just a little. Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that too. I hate the idea of people like VTubers moving on from being VTubers, calling it graduating, because it kind of pushes that youthful narrative of like, for me, it personally makes me think high school when you graduate. But I can also see people graduate thinking college. But let's be real, a lot of people in the VTuber community follow Lolly, so they think younger than older. Just saying.
Mocking her graduation, obviously, with this image. It was gross. It's
infantilizing, and with so many lolly VTubers, it's sus. Oh yeah, it's so fucking sus.
Terrible to see. And I don't...
That's a big one. Do you have a better view of that? 9 years old is truly the best. I did see that one talking about, and that is sus. The best defense for that I saw was they were talking about the ideal presentation age of VTubers, which is still bad. It's not good. People are home and the door's open. I gotta be right back again. I just don't want anybody accidentally getting picked up on the microphone while I'm spewing my political shit.
I don't want to talk too much about this because it's just straight up slander. There's this image going around a lot accusing Pikami of being a pedo.
Since she's graduating, I don't give a fuck about actually looking into any of this stuff. Because, like, when she is officially graduated at the end of this month, the talent that is portraying the Pikami VTuber won't be able to say, like, I used to be Pikami, as far as I'm aware. So, like, we're never really going to know, because, like, let's be real, was she actually doxxed like Silvervale? No, I don't think so, because I haven't seen that substantiated. And this is pretty low detail, so it's hard to actually read it. And given the rest of this previous video where he's just lied or mischaracterized the stuff he's shown, I'm just not going to believe him.
Taking quotes out of context. Every single thing on this image
Though those top two ones are taken out of context. I think she might have pressed the end stream button by accident. Wait, what? Is that something being talked about?
Is being constantly shared on Twitter is talking about fictional characters, because Pikami was a lolly show.
Fuck me,
and very
reset?
open about it. And if you have a problem with this stuff, congratulations on discovering something that was never a secret for her. And again, you can be disgusted by these things, but do not label her and do not water down a term like pedophile over fictional content.
No. You can't water down the term child porn when talking about lolly, but I would still say that being into lolly stuff does make you a bit of a pedophile, because it's not actual children, but it is depictions of them. So really, are you attracted to the art style, or is it what the art style is displaying? Thank you. Apparently my router reset or some shit. I never hit end stream. I've also been continuing, so if you want to catch up on that part you missed, you're going to have to watch the video.
But this led to the final arc of this video, the Pippa Pipkin routes. Now, I can't really read.
Yeah, Pippa is... I would say Pippa is just clout farming over rage bait. I hate this franchise, but I hate people on Twitter more. That is pretty explicitly I am 100% against people pushing for trans rights.
Read her mind, but this initial stream announcement that she was going to play Hogwarts Legacy was extremely controversial. It got a ton of attention, and I'm not going to read her mind, but I think that this stream was made out of spite, to spite people who are harassing other content creators like Pikami. It's no...
But you're not really going to be showing the harassment.
Coincidence, this announcement was made the day after her graduation. And you can see the number of likes. This tweet exploded with attention, both positive and, of course, negative, accusing her of being a transphobe and more claims.
I will say this, I don't know if Pippa is explicitly a transphobe, but I will say she doesn't care about, I would say she doesn't care about trans people. She just cares about getting them clicks.
Claims, much like the Twitter Freaks comment, that people on Twitter meant trans people, which it obviously did not. You had a whole thread, we went through this, dozens and dozens of quote retweets, completely missing the point and making things up to harass Pippa.
Wait, you consider this harassment? God, you really are a snowflake.
Saying that Twitter, of course, in playing this, mocking people on Twitter and playing this game is supporting the murder of trans people. You have people saying that she's transphobic and she'll be joining Pikami soon, which, yeah.
Now, that's saying they hope they join Pikami soon, and let's be real, that tweet is fairly transphobic, and the reasoning being it's explicitly against people on Twitter, which is... Oh my god. People are just trying to... The only thing people were trying to do is raise awareness and support for trans people, and it's led to such a backlash that it's just ridiculous. I've had at least three friends private their accounts, go on hiatus because of the hate they've received directly. And it's not, I hope you join Pikami soon when graduating. It's, we're going to find you, we're going to kill you. That's what my friends are receiving. Direct, actual death threats. I'm not going to share any DMs because they haven't given me permission to share those. But, like, I've got multiple friends taking hiatuses, not streaming because of the backlash of this.
Sounds like the harassment campaign is right on cue. And they have people like this saying that her actions are pandering to right-wing people.
Wait, that was accurate, though. That tweet literally panders to right-wingers that are explicitly against trans people, that want any excuse they can to hate trans people. Another example of people on Twitter, meaning people I don't like, aka trans people in this case. That is a little bit of a stretch, because, like, saying I hate people on Twitter wasn't her saying I don't like. That was her saying she doesn't like the people on Twitter, which means the trans people. This person just kind of explained it a little poorly. I don't think I did too much better, but wow, Rev really seems to like this delusional takes Twitter account.
That this is more proof that people on Twitter is, of course, trans people. False claim.
Wait. Then who are the people on Twitter? Was it not a group of trans people and their allies trying to push for it? Or what? There is no other explanation, Rev. Quit lying. Twitter people has now become VTubers dog whistle for trans and or Jewish people. Stop pretending this is anything but hatred towards minorities. Own up to your own bigotry, clown. Yeah. That's pretty straightforward. It's not delusional.
And then you had this whole gaslighting campaign about dog whistles, that Twitter people is a dog whistle. And again,
the gaslighting campaign is the harassment that you haven't justified.
Unsolicited advice, anytime you hear dog whistle, that should be a dog whistle that the person talking is stupid. But
so you're stupid because you just used that term. Perfect.
Then we had the last thing here. This is a viral thread that attempted to cancel Pippa.
Hey, Conyer based. And yeah, Conyer made really good points in that thread. You should definitely check it out.
For being a transphobe, showing that there's an industrial complex of VTubers forming that are grifting off.
Well, I don't think it's an industrial complex, but there are a lot of people grifting off of the Hogwarts legacy and harassment they're getting for it. Because, like, in that thread, I believe, Conyer had explicitly pointed out some accounts that literally were acting like they got harassed for whatever, or they were trying to push they are pro-trans and they were trying to harass people over Hogwarts. But you scroll back a bit in their Twitter account and you saw that they had anti-trans tweets like a year ago, a few months ago, and they even said a tweet about how the Troons are going to hack their account. And then they put the trans flag in their name and started harassing people over Hogwarts. Yeah. That's totally not a thing that's happening regularly, it seems.
Hogwarts legacy and the harassment, in quotes, implying it doesn't happen, they're getting from it. And
the harassment doesn't happen. You haven't proven it does, so please do.
It's coming from incels and Nazis pretending to be trans. And they found one very obvious parody, and that was the evidence that this whole thing was manufactured for attention. But yeah.
Are you going to actually explain why it's evidence against, or why it's what you claim? Or are you just going to state that and move on like you have for the last half hour of this video?
That is the Pippa arc. There's really not a whole lot more to say. She was able to take this a different way. Pippa is kind of a different breed. Not to say anything different about Silvervale or Pikami, but her community's a little bit different. She's used to edgier stuff and edgier jokes, and she's dealt with harassment before. So
yeah, edgier jokes, like talking about how there's people that already control the world, and then her chat starts going oy vey. Yeah, I mean, totally not towing the line of the Jewish question there.
So these things hit a little bit differently than how it happened with the other ones. So now we've reached the end of this video, and also the finale of the Hogwarts legacy related drama.
Ooh, is it where you're going to actually show shit, or are you just going to talk about your feelings for the last minute of this video? I believe the phrase is, facts don't care about your feelings, and so far the facts you've provided don't substantiate your shit. This is all just your fifis. This is 100% your fifis.
It has been an exhausting trip. This video alone is proof.
I agree.
Proof of how deep this all went, and I left out.
This is not proof of how deep it went. It's just painting it as if it was some broad conspiracy. It's not. There was no harassment campaign. You haven't actually shown any legitimate harassment. You've shown a couple things that didn't get a whole lot of engagement, but that was no proof of a broader campaign.
A pretty good amount, right? I
No.
picked and chose what to include. There's plenty of other...
Shocker, you picked and chose the stuff that couldn't substantiate your claims as well as you thought they did. Shocker.
Side quests I could have included, but I just want to get the main things we talked about over the past month. And I really appreciate all of the support on the videos and support in terms of being and having my back when I'm being accused of being a transphobe for simply saying that people shouldn't be harassed over a game. I've appreciated...
Yeah, it doesn't make you a transphobe to say people shouldn't be harassed over a game. It does make you a transphobe to use the Twitter freaks rhetoric about the Hogwarts Legacy campaign. Or not campaign, how about the Hogwarts Legacy discourse? Because Twitter freaks explicitly refers to the people that were pro-boycott. And what were those people pushing for? Trans rights. And you're pushing against that. So, how are you not transphobic if you're not pushing back? Or, I mean, how are you not transphobic if you are pushing back against trans rights? Answer that. You won't.
All the kind words from people, and it's been a ride, and I appreciate all the time you guys spent listening to this stuff, and it's over. Hopefully. But
it's never
that's
over.
it. No more Hogwarts Legacy, and I really hope this doesn't replicate with games and controversial games in the future, because it proved to be the most unproductive.
Oh my god. Yeah, we are done that. We had our fun. I'm just so tired of listening to him. Oh my god. That... I don't even know how long I've been going. It's just painful. Oh, fuck. I knew I would not enjoy this Rev video, but I felt I needed to go over it.